Welcome back to Advent of Code. Today we are working on day 21. It's been a nice journey and we are we're close to reaching the end of this journey. And today we have a list of ingredients with a list of allergens. So we're talking about food, which is I love food, as a French person. However, we have a big problem here, which is that these ingredients are in a language that we don't know about, and the allergens are in a language that we know about, English. And sometimes there could be an allergen here that is not listed in the right side. So this is the worst food labeling known to man, I would say. So first of all, we have to match. I think what we need to do really is to match and try to understand what ingredient is dairy, what ingredient is fish. So we're going to need to figure this out. So as always, we paste the input. And you know what? In the parsing here, we're going to need to split with this. So that on one hand, we have our ingredients, and on the right hand, we have our the allergens. So we're gonna need to do lines for each, and here we have a line. So we said we have on the left side the ingredients and on the right side the allergens, and we want the line and we want to split with this piece of string that I've just copied. However, if we do that, we're gonna have a trouble because there is this thing at the end of the string. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove it right away with nothing. So let's console log. You know what? I always love to do little console logs along the way to make sure we have a nice and good setup. Okay, so here we have day 21. Oh wait, I have clicked on day 20. I'm running day 20. We don't want to think again about day 20 because this was a super hard day. So let's focus on day 21. Hopefully this isn't as hard as yesterday. So we have the ingredients and the allergens. I think we need to split on comma and spaces. So you know what? Here we're gonna map. I'm gonna say x dot split, and we want to split on spaces and commas several times. That should do the trick. That does the trick. The reason here I'm using this is because here we have dairy, comma, space, fish. So here this is matching the comma space. So yeah, we have everything. This one-liner is doing all the parsing that we need. We can focus on the next step. And the next step, we need to understand dairy, which one is it, fish, which one is it. And the thing is, here we have dairy twice. So we know that one of these is dairy and one of these is dairy. So dairy is something that is present in both the first string and the second string. So this looks like we have a set of ingredients and we want to find ingredients that are present in both sets. In order to do that, we're going to need to do the intersection between this set of ingredients and this set of ingredients. And here, if we do that visually, we see that this one is present in these two, this one isn't, and this one isn't. So basically, we know that dairy, the allergen dairy, is because of this specific ingredient. So we're going to have to do that. We're going to have to create a ingredient. No, is that? No, it's allergen to ingredients. and this is going to be a list from a string to a set. So we're going to here do string to set. That should be nice. So basically here we have a list. So we need to go through each allergens here. So we're going to do for const a of allergens. We need to say, so at the beginning this is empty, so there is no set. So we need to say if allergens to ingredients, or we need to check if A is in allergens to ingredients, and we know at the beginning that it isn't, and in that case we need to say this of A equal new set of ingredients. And we just talked about doing intersection between two sets, and this is happening at that time, meaning if there is already a set in this space, we need to do an intersection between two things. So that's going to be interesting. How should we do the intersection in JavaScript? I think we're going to say, first of all, we have our ingredients here, ingredients, and we need to filter the ingredients so that each ingredient is already in this set. So we need to check if this that has I. And this is going to give us the list of ingredients that are present in both the current ingredients and the previous set. So here we can store this as a new set. So basically, yeah, here this is really how to do the intersection between an array and a set. You just have to do a filter so that you check that each element of the array is already in the set. So here we're doing this intersection, and in the end we're going to be displaying this here. We're going to be logging this. I can hide this logging because it's not needed anymore. Okay, I can actually remove it completely. And we see that we have a problem. The problem is that here for dairy you have just one ingredient, which is perfect. But for fish you have two ingredients, and we know that this one isn't fish, but it's dairy already. Because from what I understand, there is one ingredient is exactly matching. Yeah, each allergen is found in exactly one ingredient. This is really a key part of the problem statement, which means that here this word cannot be in both dairy and fish. So we're going to need to remove it. So we're going to need to do several loops around this object. We need to check. I think we need something somewhere. So we're going to need to do a loop here. So let keys equal this object that keys of this. Then we say while there are keys, you do something, and in the end you store again the keys. So we're going to need to loop here, and each time we're going to say, so here this is not truly allergens to ingredients. This is mostly potential allergen to ingredients, but that's going to be too long. So let's call that A to I. So here we say const defined allergens. We're gonna just call it like that. And the thing is, here we're gonna loop through each key and check if the set has just one ingredient. In that case, we know for sure that this is completely defined. This ingredient, this allergen will always match this allergen, and in that case we can go through each element and remove it. So let's do that right away. I hope my long explanation was clear enough. So here we're going to loop through each key. So let's do for off. Let me just check one thing. Object.keys is returning an array, right? It is returning an array, so that's perfect. So we can say keys.filter or keys.find. Let's do that. Const defined keys.find where allergens to ingredients of k dot size. So I always forget if the size is size is a property. I always forget if this is size with the parentheses or just a property. So we need to check and make sure the size is exactly equal to 1. We check this element, and when we have an element that is defined, we need to say defined allergens of defined is equal so in here we need to extract the only element of a set. How do we do that? Values, entries. I would get let me just check how to do that correctly. Okay, so I think we're going to be doing something very simple here. We're going to need to just do values. Wait. So here I made a mistake. No, yes, this is a set. This is truly a set. String to set. This is the string here. And this is the set. So this is the key. So here we need not to use k but defined, and here we need to say dot values dot. So what we're doing here, we're extracting the values that returns an iterator. In order to get a value from an iterator, you have to do dot next, I believe. This is somewhere here. Oh yeah, that's not here. Anyway, dot values dot next. And I think you need to do dot value. Let's check this out. Here we're gonna break, and here we're gonna log defined allergens. That should give us good enough insights on whether this is working on a dairy. Okay, this is perfect. This is exactly what we want. So now that we have done that, we need to make sure we clean. We need to delete of defined. Oh, now dot values is not working anymore. Oh, I forgot to remove the break. I forgot to leave the break. So what we're doing now, we are cleaning this entry here, and we need to remove this value from all of the sets. That's going to be a bit intensive, but that should be good. How do you remove a value from a set? Can you do that here? Delete value. Yes, that's easy. So now we need to go through each set. So we're going to do... No. We need to go through each element in here. No, in here. So we're going to do a for off, set of sets. Actually, let's not call this set, but let's call it a of allergens to ingredients. And in here we need to say a.delete the defined key. Is that correct? No, that's not correct. Const ingredients is this one. Ingredients. I need to remove the ingredients from each allergen. Let's check this out. Oh, allergens to ingredients is not iteratable. I guess a in. I need to do like that. Is that something that we can do for an object? Yes, that's something that we can do. However, we need to display here these two variables. And what we see here is exactly what we wanted. We have found that dairy is this value. This is stored in defined allergens. And we have removed this value from all of the other values, which means fish is now just one possible value. So if we remove this break, we should... Damn it. So let's display these two things in here instead. Oh, here keys.length. We need to make sure keys.length is above 0. Maybe that was my mistake. Yeah, that was my mistake. So now I can place these two false in here, and you see that allergen to ingredients is now empty, and we just have our defined allergens and the ingredient. So this is perfect. I believe this is all we needed, right? We want to make sure to determine which ingredient can't possibly contains any of the allergens in the food. So now we know exactly which ingredient is which allergen. So we need to find the ingredients that are not allergens. So, damn it. And we need to count them, right? So let's do counting ingredients first. So I believe each ingredient appears once and only one in the list. That would make sense, right? You don't want a food with the same ingredients appearing twice. So here I'm going to say ingredient counter. And so here we're going to say for ingredients of ingredients. We need to do if ingredient in ingredient counter. In that case, we can do ingredient counter of ingredients plus. Otherwise, we just say ingredient counter is equal to 1. That makes sense. Let's display this ingredient counter, because we want to go slow to make sure we're doing the right stuff. This is appearing 3 times. Let's this 1, 2, 3, yeah. And SBZZ F is appearing twice. That is correct. So our ingredient counter is doing good. Now we need to go with the full list of ingredients, actually, right? Because we need to check out of all ingredients which one are not appearing. Okay. So we say const all ingredients. Let's make that a new set as well. And here we do all ingredients dot add ingredient. Now we need to check we need to move all ingredients to an array. From a set it becomes an array. Now we need to filter this array to make sure this is not in this hash map. I think one thing we're going to do is we're going to revert the hash map, which means we have something called allergens to ingredients, and we're going to have something ingredients to allergens. And here this is actually, let's not create it here, we're going to create it here. Defined allergens, we're going to say defined ingredients. So in order to create, basically we have to reverse this map. We're doing a lot of, simple stuff, but I think it's gonna build up to something really nice. So we need to do a for in. Oh no, that's looking weird. So I didn't expect the auto completion to build so many things. So we need to check the key in define allergens. We need to say define ingredients of define allergens of key is equal to key. So basically here we're creating a new map where let's actually display it. That would make so much sense to see it displayed. So we have the defined allergens, and then we have the defined ingredients. We can remove all the console logs, we don't need them anymore. I can hide this for now. So the first one is dairy to mx, and now mx to dairy. So we've got something that is looking great. We can resume building this. We go through each ingredient and we make sure that the ingredient here is not in the allergen. So we need to make sure that this is not ingredient in defined ingredients. And this is going to give us the list of ingredients. And now we need to, let's actually, const OK ingredients. We do things step by step because we don't know exactly how the second part is going to be looking like. So now we say what are the OK ingredients, and the OK ingredients are the ingredients that shouldn't appear in this line here. And these 4 ingredients are not appearing in the line, and these 4 ingredients are these 4 ingredients. So we're good. Now we need to check how many times they appear. So we're going to say OK ingredients. OK ingredients.map. And we're going to map an ingredient to the count that we created here, ingredient counter of ingredient. And now we just have to do a sum. So we're going to be using a reduce, a plus b starting at 0. Const sum, so console log sum. Let's check this. 5, this is looking nice. Let's jump right into the full output, the full input. And now we run this. We get 2,436. This is good. Let's switch to part 2. Okay, so I thought this would be complex, but I think we've done the right stuff so far, which is we should have enough information to figure out which ingredient contains which allergen, and we've actually done that. So I don't know if there was a way to solve part 1 without doing this part, having which ingredient contains which allergen. So I don't know how you could have solved part 1 without this. That's a good question, but let's focus on this. We need to order all the ingredients alphabetically by the allergens. So basically, dairy is the first, then fish, then soy, and then you put these ingredients. Okay, looks nice. So I think this is quite simple. What I would be doing, I would be checking all ingredients. So here we're going to say object.keys.of define ingredients. No, actually I would do the opposite. I would check the allergens, I would sort that alphabetically, and then I would map that allergen to define allergen of allergen, which is giving us the ingredient, and I would join that with comma, space, or just comma. What is it? Comma. Let's check. That should be if we console.log this, that should be working, right? We check all of the keys here, which is the list of allergens. We sort this list of allergen alphabetically, and then we map that to the ingredient. And I think this, you want the list of ingredients mapped by allergen. So I think that looks nice. Let's check this out. This is not correct at all. So here let's log define allergens, because that's a bit weird. Oh wait, of course. I was expecting to run this on the small input. So Ctrl+Z is super helpful here. We have these 3 ingredients in the order that we wanted. So now if we revert that back to the big input, keep making this mistake. We have this, let me remove that just to clean things up. We have this line here, so we can paste here. Looks nice. Let's submit. This is good. Thank you very much for the support in this series. I'm having a lot of fun, except yesterday, where it was very painful. Hopefully you had some fun yesterday. So yeah, don't forget to drop a like, a comment, and to subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye bye.